You know, um, in my growing up years and most of my life, um, I was under constant criticism of one form or another. It comes in different forms. The biggest criticism came from the Bible, believe it or not, because the Bible was so invalidating. Nothing you did was ever right, and it was very damaging to me. And to this day, I do not enjoy criticism or invalidation a whole lot, right? And whenever I come under criticism, I feel that sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. And because I remember how it makes me feel, I try not to criticize or invalidate others anymore. I may not always or often agree with what people are doing or how they are expressing it, but I just, because I know the damaging effects, the psychologically damaging effect of constant criticism, constant tearing down, it's not nice. And the only kind of tearing down I do is, of belief systems, of the collective religious matrix, right? And I do it through my own deconstruction. How it was experienced in my own life, what I have learned and gained from the knowledge of my of the psychological layers, of becoming aware of how it affected me psychologically at the soul level, because that is an important layer that needs unveiling for us to see things not just from an intellectual and mental space. Intellectual and mental space is that logical space of the left brain, but the emotional, intuitive space is that of the soul, right? The feeling part, how it makes you feel in the psyche. And so being told that you're wrong is not very helpful. And I really hope that I'm not expressing myself in that way. If I have to correct something, I try to do it by directing it through myself in where I feel I was wrong, right? Because this awareness is something that cannot be taught to others. You're going to experience that in your own time. But in my awareness journey, I have found a lot of things where I was quote unquote wrong, right? And the expanded consciousness now has given me a greater and deeper understanding of what I previously could not understand because it wasn't experienced. Now I have experiential knowledge of these things, the gnosis, G-N-O-I, no, G-N-O-S-I-S. And and that's individual. My journey is individual. It's not going to conform to religion or religious interpretations, because interpretations for the most part, are mental, something that the mind figures out. But epiphanies are what you feel in your soul space. And what I am unveiling is not going to be understood by a lot of people. You can't understand it if it hasn't been your experience, right? So, but to come and try and correct me is not going to do any good. So, that being said, I do not wish to criticize you, and I do not wish to be criticized. We're just having to advance on our journeys individually, at an individual pace. So there's going to be many times where we don't see eye to eye or understand things the same way because the experience is hasn't happened yet. So I'm not interested in intellectual debates of what is right and what is wrong. This journey, like I said before, this is me getting acquainted with the divine feminine part of me, my soul part, my emotional, psychological part that had been suppressed and buried for over 50 years. So grant me these short few years to make acquaintance with my soul. I don't need to be following the story of Jesus or any other guru anymore. This time is about getting to know my soul. We can waste so much time on the spiritual journeys and the spiritual stories about other people. When are you going to discover your own story? And when are you going to share the word of your testimony, of your life? Right? That's another aspect. That scripture verse that says they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. A testimony isn't a testimony about Jesus. It's a testimony about your life. It's your life. That's how you overcome, by the testimony of your soul and your life. So, overcome all obstacles by honoring your beautiful soul